Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. So I got a brand new deck profile for you guys today. So this time it's on my Marincess deck. In fact, I've been wanting to build this deck for a long while, ever since the archetype was introduced back in what's that set called? A Rising Rampage. So yeah, definitely not a bad deck. It goes really well with the frogs and Paleozoics, of course. So I figured I'd pick this archetype up and just play around with it, test it a few times, and I like what it can do. It's a really powerful trap-based deck, of course, and thankfully, Trap Trick is actually a pretty solid reprint to pick up. So if you haven't picked up Trap Trick, I would recommend getting it. Now, unfortunately, this deck is still relatively expensive, even with the reprint of Trap Trick, because Signet Mining is still, expensive. We have Coral Anemone, which is a pretty pricey card. So if you guys really want to invest on this deck, go for it. But anyway, let me go and show you what I got. Alright, so starting off with the main deck, I'm sticking to 40 cards. I got Marincess Seahorse. So this card is literally a one card Link 3 monster. You normal summon this, go into Blue Slug. Blue Slug will add this card back to your hand, I'm sorry. This card special summons itself as long as you have a Marincess Link monster. Go into Coral Anemone. Coral Anemone will bring it right back. Go into the Link 3, and then of course the Link 3 will let you recur it back to your hand. So like this card's got like recurability all over the place with it. Playing 1C Archiver just because it's a searchable Cyberse monster through Signet Mining, I'm sorry. And the fact that it can actually kind of be abused with Swap Frog because it's a water monster. You just discard one water monster to summon it, or to bring out Swap Frog. And of course, if you special summon a monster to a Link Arrow, you can bring this card back. So this card could also help you extend into cards like Boral Sword Dragon if you want to. So C Archiver, definitely not a bad card to try out. Now moving on to the frogs, I'm playing, of course, 3 Swap Frogs. This summons itself by discarding one water monster and also dumps your frogs to the grave. 3 Dupe Frog, also pretty good. This card leaves from field to the grave. You can add one frog monster from your deck to your hand, so it just can't summon Brill at itself, so yeah. 2 Ronin Totem, another free extender piece, just banish a frog to special summon it. I didn't want to play this at 3 because I felt like 3 was going to be a brick, so I'm only running the 2, and that's it for those cards. For my hand trap lineup, I'm actually playing 3 Ash Blossom, it's a much needed staple for everybody, and 3 Ghost Ogre, just because I think Ogre is actually one of the best hand traps this format, because the fact that it's just free non-targeting spot removal, so this is good against pendulums, good against any guard dragon deck. Just hit that LP and then they're pretty much stuck right there. So like, yeah, it's like Ghost Ogre, definitely a great card. It was either gonna be this or Effect Veiler, and out of the 2, I just like Ghost Ogre just slightly more right now. So I feel like Ghost Ogre is definitely one of the better options. For spells, I'm actually only just running 3 spells, 3 Signet Mining, and unfortunately, this is the only way to search out the Seahorse. There's no other card I can think of right now. Maybe Cyber's Beacon, but that card's kind of iffy. And Cyber's Backdoor or Signet Backdoor might not be a good choice because you have to target a Cyber's monster to use it. So Signet Mining might be the only card you can actually use right now, sadly. Alright, so now we're moving on to traps. And again, I'm really happy this card is reprinted. Playing 3 copies of Trap Trick. You basically banish 1 normal trap from your deck and set 1 card of the same name, and you can activate it at the same turn. So Trap Trick definitely a much needed staple for this deck. I'm playing 2 Marincess Wave. Unfortunately, this is probably the only other way to use Trap. Well, the only way to really search it out, because unfortunately this card's not searchable through the Marincess core. So yeah, but it does have self-recursion. Well, it's recurable, I should say. It's not self-recurring. But if you have a Link or Marincess Link monster, you can target 1 monster your opponent controls and negate that face-up monster's effect until the end of the turn. So it's a... And if you have a Link 2, all face-up monsters you currently control are unaffected by your card's effect, by your opponent's card effects. And if you have a Link 3, you can activate this card from your hand. So basically, it's a Marincess Infinite Impermanence. So definitely a great and powerful card. But I didn't want to play it at 3 because I felt like it was bricky, so I'm only playing at 2. Maybe I'll bring it up to 3. I haven't decided on it yet. So now we're moving to the Paleo engine. Got 3 Dinomischus. Discard 1 card to banish 1 card banish 1 card your opponent controls. So definitely a great card. And of course, since Paleos, have the effect where you can special summon them back from the grave as monsters, that's pretty good. So they basically act as free fodder for your Totally Awesomes. Triple Canidia, this is basically Book of Moon. I was thinking of just running it at 2 at first, but I think right now, because we're in a format where it's mostly combo heavy decks with a lot of monsters, you want to stop your opponent's plays from going to like some crazy link climbing combos, and as long as the monsters face down, they can't link climb. 2 Ulenoides. I was running this at 3 at first, but since we're not in a format where back row heavy decks are like the problem, like the way it was beforehand, I think that's why I think playing 2 is just fine, but who knows? I mean, against Sky Strikers, you definitely want to play like some form of spell and trap card removal, and this is the best card to do it. Playing 2 Lost Wind. I was opting to play this at 3 rather than the Canadia, but for right now, I think 2 is fine. So basically, you target one face-up monster your opponent controls, and not only its effects are negated, but its attack points are cut in half. And keep in mind, this is actually a permanent negation and power down, so it's not until the end of the turn. Playing 3 Solemn Judgment. You know, this card's always live, and especially because like this deck really doesn't do well going second. But if you're going first, you know, like, and your opponent's most likely going to try to side in cards like Twin Twisters or Evenly Match, this card will defend you. Because the one problem with Paleozoics is that their main weakness was Evenly Matched. So you slap that on by baiting out the negates from Totally Awesome, then there's really no way out to it. So with Solemn Judgment, you can actually stop cards like that. And of course, the last card in my deck is Imperial Order, since again, the only spells I'm actually playing is Silent Mining, and chances are you're only going to use it like maybe once or twice. So I think Imperial Order is definitely a good card to run. You set this, and it's also really good against Sky Strikers because, you know, they can't play it spells at all. So yeah. Oops, sorry, I accidentally bumped the camera there. All right. So now let's move on to the extra deck. Extra deck is pretty self-explanatory. Playing 2 Blue Slug. This is like one of your main combo starters. 3 Coral Anemone, literally the generic link to for water monsters, because it just requires 2 water monsters. But this special summons back your Seahorse, because her attack points are 1,500 or less attack points, and this can also bring back your frogs, so you can also abuse your frogs a little bit more. In fact, you can actually potentially bring out Swap Frog like 3 or 4 times in one turn, thanks to Coral Anemone. So this is actually what makes this card kind of broken. 2 Marbled Rock, again, just, you know, this recurs your Seahorse and your Marincess Wave, like your trap card, essentially, and go from there. And it's pretty good, so it's a pretty good beat stick. 2 Me Star Boy, you know, just give your water monsters a good power boost. For a Link 4, I'm playing Boral Sword Dragon, because it's actually relatively easy to bring out. So, if you, like I said, with the Sea Archiver, it is kind of abusable thanks to Swap Frog, and even Coral Anemone can abuse it a little bit, so it's really not hard to go into this card whatsoever. For the Xyz monsters, of course, I'm running one of each of the Paleozoics. This one essentially lets you use the Paleozoic trap cards from your hand as long as it has a Paleo trap as its Xyz material. And if you can detach one Xyz material and add 1 Paleozoic trap card from your deck to your hand. So really good card. We got I can never pronounce this right. Animalocaris. I'm so sorry if I butchered that name so badly. Once per turn, if a trap is sent from your spell and trap card zone to the graveyard, except during damage step, you can excavate the top card of your deck, and if it's a trap, you can add it to your hand. So this digs out your trap cards. So pretty busted. And also, during either player's turn, if this card has a trap as X material, you can detach 1 material, then target 1 card on the field and destroy it. So again, each of these have like a special benefit as long as it has a Paleo, or rather a trap card as part of its material, so definitely a good card. And of course, to end things with a bang, 3 Totally Awesome, because why not? He's awesome. So this card negates anything, can also bring out your frog monsters, so that way you can keep its negates alive. So whenever your opponent activates a monster spell or a trap card effect, you can negate it by setting 1 aqua monster you control to the grave, and set that card to your set of the field. So Totally Awesome. Definitely a must-have to run that at 3. Maybe once the new support comes around, you could probably play around with the ratios a little bit more, but for now, you definitely need 3 of these. Alright, so for the side deck, it's also self-explanatory. I'm playing 3 Nibru, because he's a card, and going second, this deck will struggle going second, so you definitely need a counterplay. 3 Pankratops, this card's like too broken, so you definitely want to play this at 3. Another good card to tech in is White Howling. So this is basically Imperial Order for a turn, and it's mainly to deal with Sky Strikers as well as Pendulum players. So basically, here's how it works. If you control a water monster, you target one spell in their graveyard, banish it, and for the rest of the turn, negate all spells on your opponent's side of the field. So, again, this only affects your opponent, so definitely a great card to run. I recommend it. I'm playing 3 evenly matched. Definitely want to get some free spot removal, especially when you're going second. And then lastly, and this is specifically for pendulums, maybe Sky Strikers too, but mostly for pendulums, anti-spell fragrance, because this locks them out. They cannot use any pendulum skills. So you spring this on their standby phase, and that's it. Pendulums are completely done. So that's why I decided to run it. Well, that's all I got for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll catch you guys again next time.